Hello, everyone. I told you we'd be right back. I would never betray your trust. Welcome back to the MEC. We're getting ready for some more Smash. My name is Travesty. I am joined here with Captain Atsaka. Are you ready for our third matchup and our final one of week 3 that we have for today?
Yeah, because this is going to be our third matchup of the day. And after this, I do believe that we're going to be going back in time to try and get a little bit of a refresher on what happened on weeks prior. But with that being said, let's get ready to get our third matchup underway. And again, we have just been seeing some fantastic plays being made all day, whether it was from the first game there and Sephiroth really nearly making that incredible comeback to going into game 2 and Solid Snake nearly running the entire ring around their opponents. Again, it was just absolutely phenomenal play so far, and I'm just curious on how can it possibly get any better.
Well, here we go. We'll find out our answer, I believe, right now as we're going into it. Actually, it looks like we just need a moment to get everything set on up, but it should be a fun little setup here. I believe here, going into our third matchup. One of the things that I've been excited about on the day has been the fact that we've had unique matchups throughout the entire day. I don't think any team has been showing a duplicate pick across all the other teams on the day. So we've had each school has basically brought a unique roster that no other school has brought in on the day, which I think is a very fun thing to think about.
Absolutely. And that is one thing that I didn't even notice until you had pointed it out, is that we really haven't had any doppelgangers. It's been all unique picks, which is interesting to say the least, but at the same time not so surprising, just because there are so many characters in Smash. But with the meta being what it is, and a lot of the competition and the high competitive Super Smash tournaments that happen, a lot of players just tend to try and go with those picks as well and try and replicate what we see from the pros. And that usually sets the stage for what the tier list is. But again, you have those niche picks like we saw today with the Wolf, for example, coming out. And then not to mention players like C-Stick Down, who is just phenomenal on a Wario of all things. And it's not just that they play Wario, they play a good Wario. They go toe to toe with the pros. So again, it's being able to find those unique picks that work best for you, all the while being able to take advantage of what a lot of these other picks have to bring.
Yeah, I always bring it back down to the fact of how much I just love collegiate, because collegiate esports in general has a lot of the non-traditional stuff coming in, and that's actually my favorite thing about collegiate. It's just the fact that it's a lot of non-traditional. You have your meta, we make our meta, and that's completely fine. That's what I love about collegiate, and that's what I want to see from these programs, right? And that's what I've been seeing from my time here so far inside the MEC for the Smash scene. Is we are seeing so many diverse characters, so many deep rosters that have been just showcased day in and day out.
Yeah, well, I think we're just about ready to get our next matchup underway, as now we should be able to go right on in. As you see, we are going to have Cornell College versus Ashland University, and there they are. I'm wondering why it took so long for this to come out. It will be Steve, but I got to tell you, if there's anybody that I think could possibly take Steve, it should be Little Mac.
This is the first Steve of the MEC, by the way.
Ooh, I'm sorry. I don't like Steve.
It is the first time we're having a Steve inside the MEC. It's just having a bit of a laugh here, blowing up some TNT.
I think this is just like input checks,
This has to be, yeah. No, there's no. What are they doing? They're just swinging madly. They're fighting their demons.
Oh, well, hang on. They started throwing blows there towards the end. I mean, it was hard to tell what they were doing. I was assuming that was just, a button test. Just making sure that everybody's good to go. There's no lag. There's no excuses, which honestly with Steve, I really don't think it matters. Again, we can argue all the live long day. People say, it's like, oh, Steve's not that bad. And I'm just like, yeah, he might be. But regardless, we are getting ready to head finally into the matchup here. And it's going to be interesting to see. Oh, maybe. Yes, maybe. We'll see. Yes, no more Steve. You don't get to see any Steve today.
It was a teaser.
Instead, you're going to get Terry versus Bayonetta.
What a sentence that is, by the way. Terry versus Bayonetta. Terry has a very soft spot inside of my heart. I love Terry as a character. Bayonetta, of course, always deserving the love as well. But Terry being inside the game was a character that a lot of people were like, wait a second, who is Terry? Hold on. and people had to go back and was like, wait a second, hold on, Terry kind of slaps. Terry get that go button, and he kind of goes, you know.
Yep, that they do. And you know what's even crazier to me is that, like, I see a lot of Terry players and they just don't use go meter, and I don't understand it. Like, how can you pick Terry and not use your go? But I don't think that's going to be a problem here against this Bayonetta. And then, you know, Bayonetta was in the meta for quite some time back in the day. They've fallen off a little bit in Smash Ultimate, but they still hold a pretty good pick rate in
They were
Smash Ultimate.
the OG Steve, right?
Maybe. I don't think there was anybody as bad as Steve. I don't know. I mean, we'll have to do
Bayonetta
some
was
homework.
the first one I remember from Smash Ultimate. First character I remember actually that people were like actually like putting up forums to be like, yo, can you ban this character? So Bayonetta,
can we nerf something? Yeah, but right now, I got to tell you, Terry's doing a little bit of work here. They took the first stock and they have go meter. And they are just popping off as the last go move does land. And that's 2 stocks to 3 now in favor of Cornell College.
Yeah, you got to watch out with Camden here. Cornell College is actually really disgusting about how they play this. Nice use of the witch time there to slow things down and put things back in your pace. But for Cornell College, a normal setup does involve having this Terry play point for their team. And what ends up happening usually is this Terry lays out the damage for the rest of the team to be able to go that extra distance. So if you're going against Cornell College, it's something that you have to keep your eyes on to. As Bayonetta's no slouch either. We've seen Ashland time and time again with this Bayonetta pulling on some sick combos whenever they get their momentum, start filling themselves up in the air. But Terry has done such a great job neutralizing that. Unfortunately, they jump up into the air and immediately get caught as I give them praise. But Bayonetta not done just yet, but will get caught on the rebound.
That was nuts. That was a fantastic up air, and then we get the elimination animation, and then they just follow it up with a shoulder tackle to send them into the blast zone. And, you know, like you were saying, you know, Bayonetta is definitely not a character to sleep on. You know, Anathema's Bayonetta managed to take down Goblin Roy. So, again, you know, that is truly something to see. You know, when you put the character in the right hands, amazing things can happen. But regardless, Terry in the perfect hands, because they were able to take not just Bayonetta, but they managed to take Bayonetta out with stocks to spare. So again, they did phenomenally there in round 1.
Yeah, well, let's see when the Nets game how they continue to do. Because, like I said, this tends to be their game plan. Terry up front does the damage, soften up the team, so that way the rest of the team can come up behind them and finish things off. They tend to have this strategy replicated many times inside their crew battles. Now they got a Falco. Very agile opponent. Somebody we haven't gotten to see surprisingly just yet today. It's our first time getting to see the Falco coming in. And this Falco, if they're able to get their momentum going, they start hitting you with those up airs, it can be a pretty devastating time.
Also, I don't know if y'all saw that, but Terry came in with the taunt, with the Morpheus hand gesture. Come on, bring it on. I don't know if anybody caught that, but I got to tell you, this Terry pick coming from Cornell, definitely feeling themselves, and they're starting off pretty good. Already putting Falco down a stock, and we're even at 2-2.
Yeah, Falco is getting themselves rocked up a little bit here. That's a scary thing to go ahead and lose the stock over to Terry. But this is what happens. This Terry player is really good about hitting you with a jab and then immediately following it up. They will use one move to try and confirm and then immediately translate that over into something else. We see this time and time again from this Terry player, constantly looking for those confirms and then big move right afterwards. But Falco, good read on the offense to basically come out there. And good bit of mind games actually coming out. Get that go button going. Get a nice punch. 100% for Falco. Both players are in KO range now. And it only takes one tap to be able to finish things off. Nice little zip there through the side special.
All it's going to take is one go move here, and that's going to be just about it. But at the same time, Falco, all they need is maybe even a nice up tilt, and that should just about do it. A good back throw coming from Terry as they're forcing Falco again back off stage. Forces a recovery! And no, that is not going to be enough to get the elim. So close at 150 damage apiece. And finally, Falco able to come in and get that second stock, but I have a feeling that a revenge stock is right around the corner.
Yeah, you see a little bit of footsies being played there inside of the ledge, but it will just be sliding forward with a fist. A stock to a stock. Ashland University want to finish off this Terry and try and see if they can start working on the net stock for their team at this current moment in time. They don't want this Terry to continue staying out, as this Terry is one of those characters that can take out at least one stock from somebody, no matter the situation, with that go button, with that go meter being such a devastating tool. So Falco wants to get rid of this threat, because not only if it is it a case of, you need to start catching up on stocks right now, it's also a case of this is a dangerous character to leave up for your Nets teammate to have to finish off one stock on, because the damage could get done, and it looks like the damage will remain done here. A nice spike over to the side. And yet again, it's Terry finishing things off. And this is why Cornell College, they tend to trust them to be the front of their team and lead the charge.
I did my little golfer's clap just then because we got a Terry extraordinary at what they do. And they actually use the go moves, and they use go meter, and it's just nice to see. It does well for my anger management, because I can't tell you how frustrated I get when I just see the go meter and there's no go moves being used. So thank you, Terry from Cornell. You're doing just swell, and I hope you have even more success going into your next match. You got one stock left, but now I'm ready to see a rebuttal. I've gotten my Terry fix in for the day. As we get ready to head into this next match, I want to know what is going to be brought in order to take this Terry down.
I don't know. Has the Terry had their Terry fits for today, right? That might be the question. I'm ready for this next matchup. I'm ready to see what the matchup looks like here. You need to pick something that you can deal with this Terry quickly, effectively, get a nice quick KO onto him. Hoping it's not a heavy, honestly. I actually would prefer somebody who's able to get in there, mix him up. Like if you go with somebody heavy in this situation, it could be a very weird case and scenario. Here we go.
Yes! Oh! Called it. Captain called it. Let's go. All right. I didn't call it directly, but I did say sortie.
You did say sortie. All right, Captain, call it. Walk me through this. What does this Pyramithra need to do?
Spam. I mean, that's pretty much it. Just spam Mithra's ability. That's all you got to do. I mean, you just keep Terry at bay. Honestly, you can also force them off the edge, and then you can always hit the down smash with Pyra as well. Pyra's ledge guard is really, really good. So while you're on stage with Terry, keep them at bay with the Mithra, and then if you can get Terry off stage, follow it up with the Pyra. But right now, we're seeing Pyra go to work here center stage on Hollow Bastion, as finally they do switch back to the Mithra here.
Yeah, you want to get into a situation where you're able to kind of just like throw out that sword, right? And be able to control that neutral space right there, just like that. Go in there, put a little bit of some pressure onto this Terry. And I want to see more of that. I want to see more of those confirms in that mid-range on the neutral. But you're in a dangerous spot right now. You're at 131%, 140, and you have been sent on back to the Hollow Bastion. One stock down, and the go button, the go meter is not even stacked just yet.
And you know what's crazy is that, Mithra actually has some pretty good wake-up damage, and they weren't even able to do it because Terry, again, just so good at spacing themselves on the edge here, and now they're able to take two stocks. They have go meter. They could possibly take this Pyramithra all the way to 3 stocks, and that's going to be a total of 9 stocks to this one Terry if they can close it out here.
Yeah, it's a dangerous situation to be inside of. Getting them over to the ledge. Terry is at 120%. They're looking to put in a big amount of damage here, trying to look for that jab to confirm into a blow here of their own. Good recovery coming about, and they finish it off. Terry finally taken off the field, but at what cost? It took you 2 players, 2 stocks. That is a total amount of just 8 stocks just going past for this Terry that had to be offered up, and now you just got 1 stock to defend against the onslaught.
That is, again, absolutely insane. That Terry was S tier. I mean, there's no way around it. They were able to come away with 8 stocks at the cost of 3, giving their team a huge lead. As now we get ready to head into the next matchup. Of course, Pyramithra only with 1 stock remaining after that bout, and Ashland University have a quite a big deficit to try and make up. But hold on a second, we have a Yoshi coming from Cornell College.
Yo, they said Cornell was just like, who wants to come in? Who wants to come in? They said, you know what? It's time to break out the Tims. Let's get them here. They got the Yoshi out there. The Tims are fresh onto the feet. They're going to be looking to do a couple kicks onto the face of Pyramitha. Say that your waifu is trash. That is the name of the game for this Yoshi, as they're going to be looking to smack him on up and lay in the hurt.
That they are. And I really love Yoshi just as a character. But in Smash, it's hard to tell, because sometimes I'll see a Yoshi pop off, and then sometimes I'll just see him get dumpstered on, so I love Yoshi, and I gotta tell you, this is one where my heart breaks, because anybody that hurts Yoshi is, I don't know, you're instantly my enemy. Yoshi is, again, one of those cute characters that I can't imagine harming in any way.
That sounds like to me you haven't played enough Mario Party. Then
no, I played enough, and I got beef with Mario. I got beef with Mario and Luigi. The way that they abuse poor Yoshi.
Well, there you go. Roll across here, and right now, good stuff in the Yoshi to get some damage, of course, but it's the Pyramitha actually that's been able to really lay in a good amount of hurt here. Going to go ahead, percentages even. But there's the Tims. They do all the speaking. And that is enough for them to finish away. Ashland University, they're down to their second to last player amongst their squad.
So you're telling me it's the power of the Timberlands? That's what it is. It's
yes.
The power of the big boot to the face.
Yes.
And that's all you need. I mean, don't get me wrong, they ended it on an up tilt. So yes, it was the Tims being used there to literally just sweet chin music Pyramitha straight into the blast zone. But with that being said, who can counter the tyrannical Tims? Only one way to find out, and that's to get into our next matchup. Let's see who we have coming to the party. It's Incineroar. Okay, I can dig it. I can get down with Incineroar.
Now, I actually don't know how I feel about it, because if Incineroar gets his hands onto Yoshi, right? Different ball game, right? You get those lariats spinning around. You go for those Alolan lariats to come about, laying a good amount of damage there. It can be a pretty scary time. But if you're Yoshi here, you can just do some like some egg toss. You can kind of zone out a little bit in different instances. It is a smaller stage. Wow. Okay, Incineroar got his hands onto the Yoshi though.
I mean, if you're Yoshi, you can go for the egg poop and egg poop them off the ledge, right?
Good egg poop, yes. Egg poop is always a valued option. Unfortunately, Incineroar, the problem with it is it starts off as a Litten when it comes out of an egg, so it's hard to make the egg move very effective,
Well, let's see if we're going to see any egg poops. We did see Incineroar get eaten, but the digestive tract went the opposite way, and they got barfed right back up. So nothing doing there. As we go right back to center stage, Incineroar still enjoying that one stock. Now looking to get a second. Nice up air there in order to find at least 100% damage onto Yoshi. Now keeping them on the edge. Not being able to confirm just yet, Yoshi trying to use the power of the Tims to put Incineroar back off stage. Now looking to confirm, but no, the recovery is on point.
This Incineroar is running through the Yoshi, actually, in this instance. And I do think it's just the fact that Yoshi's trying to play that CQC, right? They're trying to say, yo, my Tims, they empower me, and you are weak to them. Trying to hit them with the fighting types, because, fighting is strong against dark types, and that's what Incineroar is. So they're in a situation where they're trying to get in the hurt. They're trying to get in a couple bots in there, but Incineroar has been doing a great job actually closing the gap, and this is really good for Ashland University to really make shades of a possible comeback start to look much more viable.
Yeah, but right now from Incineroar, I need to see some clotheslines. That's what I need to see. I haven't seen one. I haven't seen one clothesline. That's what I need from Incineroar. They are the champion. They got the championship fire belt on, and yet we're not seeing a lot of wrestling moves here. I need more. I need more of that from Incineroar.
Yeah, throw me out some more meat hooks here. Right now, though, the only meat that's being hooked is this Incineroar as they get baited off of the edge and spiked down with authority. It's 1-1, and what was an impressive start for the Incineroar. They've started going for some whiffs, right? They tried to go for a lariat right there, but Yoshi wasn't on that side, so it becomes an even worse scenario. Went for the egg poop, trying to see if they could go meow. but didn't get that. Didn't get none of that. Drop kicks going wide. This is a rough scenario to be in. There you go, get in the belly.
Well, I mean, it was able to do a little bit of damage, but still not much doing Incineroar with one stock. And, you know, at least Yoshi, again, managed to take 2 off of this Incineroar. So, you know, they got quite a deep pocket there for Cornell. So, again, no love lost for them. But, again, a much-needed win for Ashland University as the Incineroar comes in to finally put an end to our most favorite lovable dinosaur.
Yeah, and hey, look, you got your wish to end things off. Backbreaker to finish off the Yoshi. There you go. You break the Yoshi. The not going to be able to walk again. Sorry, Yoshi. But hey, going over to our net stock here, our Nets player. After the dinosaur has been vanquished, it is now time to see who else can do from this. It is Robin.
Okay, let's see how this goes. I mean, Incineroar only has 1 stock to their name, so it shouldn't be too difficult. But at the same time, you know, you do have Robin just doing a couple of spin moves there, waiting to get this game underway. And I gotta wonder, what is Robin gonna bring to the table against, you know, a player like Incineroar? Well, let's get ready to see if they can keep the distance here. Because again, you don't want Incineroar to come in with the grapple moves and the throws, because that only spells danger for you.
Yeah, that's the big thing I was about to say. Ashland University, we've actually seen this Robin time and time again. I actually love playing Robin when they were introduced into the Smash roster. It was actually my main for quite a bit of time. And it is a character that's very tricky. It's all about how you position on the map, getting that zoning coming in, making sure you're utilizing the full rotation that you have for your kit, trying to throw out those L thunders, trying to throw out a little bit more of that damage, get that wind going. But hey, you know what works? When Incineroar just takes themselves out with a raw drop kick.
You know, I was questioning the validity. Yeah, there we go. I was questioning the validity. I can English of Robin for a moment there, but then, you know, Incineroar just kind of like dive tackles himself off stage, and you know what? Maybe that was the mind game all along. Maybe that was the long con for Robin there, using a little bit of the trickery to get Incineroar off stage. But with that being said, we're now ready to see our next pick coming from Ashland University, and the last pick at that. Only 3 stocks remaining for Ashland, and they're going to bring in Palutena.
It's our first dupes of the day. It's our first dupe of the day too, right? We haven't seen another poly, and the other poly that we got to see earlier on in the day, much more notorious after a run that they had inside of the LAN. But this poly here is a little bit fresh. This has been a little bit more of an adaptation that we've seen from Ashland University at times. And you know, I like the idea of this, especially as your anchor. It's a character that can do a little bit of some mid-subs if they get in close, right? But they have some fantastic zoning tools, as you were mentioning.
And again, you know, this is just going to feel like a wizard battle, or, you know, it's just going to be like some Hogwarts-style wizard dueling at this point, because they're just going to be throwing spells back and forth. This is just a spellcasters matchup, and you can see they're barely going in to close the gap, and more often than not, that's Palutena going in to land the melees in, and they do, and now you can see Robin at 100% here, trying to recover as they do find their way back on stage.
Yes. And as Robin does, like I said, they are going to rely a lot on their zoning potential. We're seeing actually quite a bit of whiffs coming out from both sides, right? The Poly's opted for a little bit more of a closer style. Robin's actually done the same, right? They have said, you know what? Screw the staying off to the side game. I'm going to just come in. I'm going to go for these just neutral game, trying to constantly lay in the hurt. Go in for these random thunders, hope to catch. Because these thunders actually, if you charge up a good thunder here and you hit them with it, it could be devastating. But those reflects, as you just saw, turn things around, force the pressure to come back. It's a stock advantage now as Poly is trapped on the ledge.
That revenge stock came in oh so quickly, as now it is going to be a 2 stock to 2, and Palutena not wasting any time. They're going right back to work here on this Robin.
Yeah, and you know what? That's what you need to do. You need to get up into the face of this Robin, lay in that hurt. Don't let them have the space to kind of play things out themselves. Go for these little pop shots whenever they're in this. I want to see more fireballs. I have not seen enough fireballs to come out here. Go for it. Give me more of those side specials. Give me a little bit more of that to be able to lay in the hurt here. You can see they're both going for like grabs and kind of whiffing there for a moment there. it's a good old fashioned case of both players are still trying to get a read on each other. It feels like as they're doing a mix of zoning and also trying to get in and mix each other up. They're trying to find out who has the biggest weakness where.
Yeah, and so far right now, it looks like Robin has been exposed in terms of weaknesses here as they are going down a stock now to the 2 coming from Pyramithra, as now we're going right back center stage, and now not a lot of spells being used. We're just going to settle this one with the good old-fashioned melee.
Yeah, get into a melee, right? Had that Levin sword equipped. Is going to have to discard that. Nice reflect to come about. And now you're in for a book of spells. The Levin sword's getting a little bit more of a charge onto it. So if you do want to go for some more of those plays, you have that option. But it is a hard thing here. Polly doing a great job building up that percentage, constantly making sure the pressure is felt onto this Robin. They cannot find enough tricks in their book. Every time they open it, they just keep finding problems, and the problem is this Polly.
And take a look at this. I mean, they are both within elimination percentage right now, and it looks like Palutena might be able to send this one away. Oh, what just happened? Oh, whoa.
Yeah. So,
whoa, okay. So that's a win for Palutena, but that was quite the way to finish there.
Yeah, straight special to come out on the end there. Good read from the Poly, though. But go ahead and say, you know what? Throw out the fireball off the edge. It's relatively safe. Scary situation to be in because you could have lost the stock. But, hey, Poly on 2 stocks. Possible run back territory from what we had saw earlier on in the day. Let's see it. What is the next matchup to come out here as Cornell College? They've got a couple options, and Hero is who they're going to be calling for.
Let's go. Bring in the RNG champion, Hero, to go up against Palutena. Is now, again, only 2 stocks remaining for Ashland University. So, I mean, it's a good opportunity here for Cornell. And don't get me wrong, I actually like Hero. You know, just because I do call them the RNG champion doesn't mean that they're not viable. I think Hero is a great sortie. Again, that RNG, you know, the multitude of abilities and spells that come out from this character, you know, when used successfully is pretty devastating. You can already see that Oomph and Psych Up have been used. And the only thing that really is devastating with Hero is that if you can't get the stock within the amount of MP that you have, they become so much more difficult to use.
My favorite thing about this character, honestly, I know the RNG is there, and it's always the big thing with Hero. If you have that MP and whatnot, there's so many different styles that Hero can play. You can play as actually a zoner depending on what you get. You can actually go for more of a buff style, and we see that actually time and time again from all the different heroes we've seen inside the MEC, that there's so many different styles that these players are loving to go for. And from Cornell College, the hero player that they have, they tend to go for more of that buff style. Like you were just talking about, they had that psych up, had all these different tools at their disposal. They're just constantly going to go for those buffs, and then every now and then straight kaboom will be the call. It will just be there to fill them up, see if they catch somebody on stray. Why not kaboom and it will blow up? But on the other side, always going to be looking for those sleeps, going to always be looking for those plays, and then always have those buffs up and ready to go and get things up.
Yeah, the only problem right now for Hero is that, you know, like you said, they were calling in those kabooms, they were calling in the Magic Blast, but they haven't been landing. That's the only issue. But now here comes the first stock, now taken away from the Palutena, and now only 1 stock remains, not just for Palutena, but for Ashland University, as they are able to get their revenge stock, and now it's a 2v1. And get ready, here comes the bounce in, maybe another psych up, there it is.
Yeah. They want to get that huge bit of hurt going on. Time and time again, this Poly is trying to get in, lay in that hurt, trying to go ahead and showcase them up. Good spike down. They're recovering nicely. 1-to-1 stock. Didn't lose any percentage from that. You need to do more of that. But 1 stray hit, 45%. Kaboom goes your HP, 80%. This is the danger of going against Hero. If they get the right selection, they can catch you off guard so quickly. You got to keep your eyes on that menu as they navigate it.
Oh, and there's the Hatchet Man to end things out, and there you have it. Hero able to put an end to Palutena and put an end to Ashland University.
really just top decked Hatchet Man like that. That was brutal. And that's the scary thing about Hero. When the pressure's getting put on, when you feel like you're finally pushing Hero back into a corner, they top deck something menacing. Hatchet Man being one of the big ones, Kaboom being another one. Good stuff coming out from Cornell College, really wrapping that one up very nicely with the hero play at the very end. And hey, top deck comes out pretty good. And Cap, that means we're done with week number 3. I think it's about. Are you ready to take a stroll down memory lane and revisit some of the matchups that we haven't yet got to see on the stream?
Oh, absolutely. You know, we got some other matches that we have to cover. Again, we have to go and see what happened in weeks prior, so that way we can know how the overall standings are going to shape out, and you know what the Midwest Esports Conference begins to kind of look like as we move forward into the season and then inevitably into the postseason. But with that being said, we're going to take a quick short break, but don't worry, when we come back, we're going to have some more Smash Brothers action for you right here at the Midwest Esports Conference.